Hello and welcome to another episode of The Car Girl. Thank you so much for joining me. Today it's all about something that punches well above its weight. It is the rally-inspired Toyota GR Yaris, and the headlines are impressive. Four-time World Rally champion Tommi Mäkinen helped create it. It has got the world's most powerful three-cylinder engine, and it is a four-wheel drive car that can behave like a rear-wheel drive machine. It is one of 25,000 homologation special cars that have been built in order for Toyota's World Rally team, Gazoo Racing, to compete. And over the years, other cars that have been made for similar reasons include the Mitsubishi Evo, Subaru Impreza and Lancia Integrale, all phenomenal cars to drive, and not quite in the same league as a traditional Yaris, which for starters has got 5 doors. This has got 3, and this is also a little bit wider and a little bit longer than a normal Yaris, and at the back is almost 10 centimetres lower, which is not great for headroom for rear passengers, but is very good for forcing air down onto this spoiler to give downforce.
Lightweight panels save 38 kilograms, or the weight of an average 12-year-old child. And if you go for the circuit pack option like this one, for an extra £3,500, you get these 18-inch multi-spoked alloys, which save another 10 kilograms, and they're wrapped in stickier tyres. You also get red brake calipers, a retuned suspension, and a limited slip differential at the front and the back to beef up the traction for the best cornering performance and grip.
Should you prefer, there is a convenience pack for just over an extra £2,000, which makes everyday driving more convenient, and it's got things like parking sensors, head-up display and sat-nav. But if it was me, I'd just go for the circuit pack and use the Apple CarPlay and use a map from my phone for that. Now, the base GR Yaris costs a fiver short of £30,000, and it is more expensive than your common or garden Yaris, but you do get an extra reward with this plaque. Now, a highlight for me in here is this perfectly petite steering wheel, and a low light is the small gap here that makes spotting hazards a little bit trickier around town.
The phone tray here gives it some everyday practicality. On the subject of which, boot space isn't huge, but fold those back seats and you've got room for 4 large tyres or a bicycle, or a lonely helmet, whichever takes your fancy.
And now for the pièce de résistance, the showpiece in here. It is this dial with its 3 driving modes. For me, this is the meat of the machine, the handling. Underneath is a mix of Yaris, Corolla and Toyota's SUV, the CHR. And it all comes together with a low centre of gravity and just the right geometry to make this car not only super sure-footed, but also sizzling with spirit. Yes, it is a four-wheel drive system, so all 4 corners are either pulling or pushing the car onwards, and it's all controlled by an electronic brain, and it is the first original all-wheel drive system from Toyota in 20 years. And this little dial here has the power to move things around. In normal mode, which is this car's default setting, the front end works the hardest because more of the grunt is sent to those leading tyres, and it's best for everyday driving. Then there's track, which illuminates the dash, and that gives the car its most neutral setting, where the grunt is split 50-50 front and rear, and that is best for fast driving in all conditions. And then there's the mode which I love the most. It is Sport. And that is where 70% of the grunt gets sent to the back wheels and gives this car the characteristic of a rear-wheel drive car, which means that it will slide.
And here's the car on a track to demonstrate just that.
this car straight away to your favourite B road because twists and turns are like oxygen to it. There are no fancy launch controls or drift modes here. It is pure old-fashioned fun. And it has been gifted with something that is becoming increasingly rare. Can you guess what it is? It is a handbrake. Yes, a proper handbrake that I have to use my hand to operate, as opposed to some fingertip control for some electronic contraption. And get this, in true rally style, it actually stops power going to the back axle, locks the rear tyres, and lets you slide some more.
When you need them, the brakes react quickly. The front discs are actually larger than those on the big GR Supra, and they've been made to withstand the heat of circuit abuse. And track day lovers, you can also set and monitor tyre pressures as well.
The steering is accurate too, though if I'm going to be picky, I could do with a bit more feedback at the initial turn-in. And when it comes to cushioning your delicate areas around town and at lower speeds, the ride is a bit jittery, but honestly, you don't care because it needs that firmness to give you the fantastic handling. For such a little thing, it is noisy. And that's partly because the engine's voice is artificially enhanced and sent in here to your ears. I don't actually mind it, and I really quite like that sort of brrrr hum of a 3-cylinder. Let's not forget though, let's not kid ourselves, it's not a V8 under the bonnet. It is in fact the world's smallest and lightest 1.6 3-cylinder single turbo engine, and it is powerfully compact, 260 horsepower and 360 newton meters of torque. Oh, pocket and rocket. Bury the lovely looking drilled aluminium throttle pedal, and 0 to 62 happens in a sprightly 5.5 seconds, and it'll go on to a limited 143. It feels quick. It feels like you've got a 2-litre pulling you along. And the gearbox, oh what a joy. It's been raised 5 centimetres to help you with a quicker throw, and there is just the right amount of resistance, gritty resistance, to make it feel super satisfying. You will be pleased to know that there are no paddle shift or automatic options for this car. It may be the size of a Chihuahua, but it's got the bark of a St. Bernard. It is everything you would hope a rally-derived road car could be. Okay, it might not have the 400-odd horsepower that Sebastian Ogier and Gwyndaf Evans compete with, but this carries the torch for the small number of hot hatches that have gone on to become icons. It is fun, it is frisky, it is fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and please press subscribe so you are ready for my next review as soon as I post it. Until then, take care.